Thursday, or as I like to call it, an optimist start to the weekend.
Is that what you
That's
call
how I
it?
look at it. But, and y'all know I'm not.
What do I call it?
All right, what?
Thursday.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you. How's your flight?
Yeah. You ready for this flight, huh?
I was going to sit here and say, hey, we got Parker Thune coming on, talking Oklahoma. Got a great show for you today. But I can't, guys, y'all know me, okay? I don't like flying, and we're going to France on this honeymoon, and I'm looking forward to everything except this flight,
You
man.
tiptoe around this pretty carefully.
Except this flight. I'm just not.
How long is it?
Like 13 hours.
Just be one with the plane.
No.
You know, be one
No,
with the
I don't want to be one with the plane. To be honest with you, I don't even want to be anywhere near the plane.
Maybe the pilot will let you fly it for a little bit.
It's like a flock of birds. You know?
Well, I mean, look, you can.
Catching the engines.
Nowadays, there's ways you can. It's a lot safer. I get that. All right, now get the statistics. I don't like flying. I'm never gonna like flying, regardless of how many times I do it. It's like Kenny Powers told that fat kid that said his dad said that Kenny ruined baseball. It's like, I'm not gonna like you, regardless of how many push-ups or pull-ups you can do. So
you should drive.
That's how it is. If I could drive, I would drive right onto a ferry or a boat that could somehow take me. I'd rather be in the boat with George Clooney and John C. Reilly going up a tidal wave than get in that plane for 13 hours. What'd you say? Ambien, 2 Ambien, and it's nighttime?
Look, 2 Ambien, a couple, Jack and Cokes. I mean, you're out for 8.5 at least.
8.5?
You're waking up hungry too, so you're gonna sleep 8.5, wake up, probably eat an hour,
and go back to sleep.
And you might even pass back out.
Good. That's what I want. I wouldn't mind if there was an option where you could say, "Listen, when I'm not looking in the airport, hit me with a baseball bat." And just knock me out.
That's just tough.
And just bring me on a plane. No, I'm telling you, y'all think
I'd rather take Ambien, probably.
Well, if that's an option.
Yeah, I don't want to catch a Louisville Slugger to the face.
I'm not saying you get Barry Bonds up there to knock my head off my shoulders.
Well,
I mean, maybe you get somebody.
Some force behind it if you want to get knocked
out. Your honeymoon trip, man. Soak it in. Look out the window the whole time.
I'm not looking.
Look out the window and look at the water.
One with the plane.
Yeah, look at the water. You're in the middle of the ocean.
Can we just talk about sports? This is already making me nervous.
Flying over the
why are you sweating,
man? Or the Atlantic, whichever
I just hope that Tom Hanks is the pilot. EA Sports announces its popular video game, NCAA Football, is going to return next summer after a 9-year hiatus. The Heat win Game 1 at the Celtics, and the PGA Championship tees off today at Oak Hill. I'm Jake Crane, and I'm scared of flying, but this is Crane & Company. Some things are just American to their core, and EA Sports NCAA Football is for sure one of those things. Now, in a society where we are so divided and there's so much vitriol, only a few things can actually bring us together. And NCAA Football, the video game, is one of those. Now, we all have our stories of crazy finishes, glitches, and plays that defined our childhood, and if we're being honest, adulthood as well. You aren't truly friends unless you've had a fight or altercation over this game or broken a controller in frustration over something that happened during a game with said friend. Now, some of the best times I can remember involve playing online Dynasty mode or when being able to play online against real opponents became a thing. It's like the first time I heard the Beatles. And now that athletes can opt in and be paid, it seems that we have figured out a way to appease all sides, going all the way back to the Ed O'Bannon case. Some thought it would never happen. So now maybe we can prevent wars by matching up leaders of foreign countries in online game modes. We can reach across the aisle, not with hate, but with a controller and a legendary matchup instead. Now, maybe instead of guys pretending to be women, they could start identifying as 5-star running backs on Road to Glory. Now, it may be a pipe dream, but so was the return of this game a couple years ago. And we need it back because at the end of the day, aren't we all already in Dynasty mode?
I'm in Dynasty mode.
You are in Dynasty mode. You're legitimate in Dynasty mode. Y'all created 2 humans.
I'm going to transform into a plane and just take you to Paris, France.
Well, I mean, how trustworthy is the plane? Because you're a trustworthy guy.
Hop on.
Yeah. Blaine, we know.
Yes!
Some of the.
I need some of these stories, man.
I'm just going to let you go. All right, here's what we'll do.
Okay.
First off, make sure you subscribe. Okay, make sure you hit like. Real quickly, greatest NCAA football story. You want me to go first?
You can go first, that's fine.
All right, so me and my buddy DJ, who played at Florida State, this one I was at South, we're in his apartment, okay, and we started an online dynasty together. I would play defense, he would play offense. All right, so I'd go over there, we'd play online, it was serious. So we're in the national championship game, okay? We are LSU, and I forgot who we were playing. I think it may have been Oklahoma or somebody like that. So it's back and forth. I mean, we're playing, this 11-year-old kid from Germany was really good, whoever it was. So we get down to the fourth quarter. We're down by 4. I'm on defense, okay? There's like a minute and 40 seconds to go. I had just burned our last timeout. All right, so now it's like 3rd and 8. So he gets a first down, he's going to knee it out, and we lose. So I forgot what play he ran, but it was a pass play, and he threw it down the sideline. Like, broke a tackle. You know, he's just running down the sideline. We're like, oh, no, it's over. So I'm just running to go tackle him, and I'm just pressing L2 as hard as possible. So it's user strip, right? That's the button for user strip. So I hawk him down and strip the ball out. And my safety picks it up. And I juke 2 guys and run it all the way back for a touchdown. There's like a minute to go. We end up holding on and winning the game. We went nuts. I'm sure somebody probably thought we were getting robbed. If you were on any other floor around that apartment, we actually went out. It was like on a Tuesday night. We were so excited that we went out on like a Tuesday. And DJ, I know he watches, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about, but that's my greatest one.
Okay, this is mine. All right, we're in an online dynasty with a bunch of randos. I think there's a couple.
Is this one me and you?
Yeah, there's a couple people we know. There's this guy, I'll never forget, his Xbox picture was a yellow lab. All right, his name was like Samson or something like that. But everybody in the dynasty was just gassing this guy up.
Yeah.
Best player they've ever seen. He's going to run the dynasty. He's going to kill everybody. He's like 6-0, just walking through people. I can't remember exactly what team. I think we were Auburn. He might have been Nebraska. Yeah. Right? So we'd play offensive defense. You know, so I get back. We play him, right? Kill him. Probably beat him by 35. Run the dynasty. That, and we played with Tennessee, that online dynasty, and we figured out how to double offer people scholarships.
You used to be able to offer them.
So you offer them a scholarship, right? You take them off your board, put them back on, then you offer them another scholarship. Yeah. So it's like offering gives you more scholarships. We signed 16 5-stars in one class.
They found out. We got kicked out. We got kicked out. But it was like after 6 years, we Pete Carrolled them. We Pete Carrolled them. 100% Pete
Best team ever assembled.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, oh, God.
Hey, at one point ranked 75th in the nation.
Yeah. It was serious. It
was like 130.
Cheat code.
It was serious.
Man, I used to love this game. The first player I think about is Eric Crouch, because I was running the triple option with Nebraska.
You could murder people with
I mean, we used to have, I think, at my buddy Brennan's house, man, we were having like an 18 to 20 person tournament, you know, a couple nights, just single elimination. You lose, get out. You got to go play poker or something. But, I also think my brother Todd, we created so many players, but one of them one time, he went like hefty lefty style, just the fattest quarterback he could.
He went Jared Lorenzen?
But was also fast and could sling it. He named him Mandanghi Fat. but my dad would come in and pronounce it like it was French. It's like Mandangi Fat. Really good.
Wow, is he Arabic?
But I don't know. I love that game. And then when I went to Michigan, I got to be I was like number 10. I was just the worst quarterback on the roster, like the freshman who comes in.
You got that money though?
You get to play there with your character a couple times. So it was awesome. I hated that the game went away. I was surprised that NCAA or EA Sports, never figured out a way to keep the game going and just not use guys' numbers or something.
Yeah.
It was already interesting because no one's name was on the video game before the O'Bannon.
But they were you could tell it was them.
But you could tell it was them.
Like RG3 was left-handed and from Hawaii.
So we haven't had the game in 9 years. Would you guys still be playing NCAA football if they just put generic players on there without any numbers?
Yes.
But you still are playing with Alabama or Georgia, and you're playing football.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
That's what surprised me about it going away for so long.
I'm still playing it.
Yeah.
Right now I'm still playing. The reason
you're playing 14?
The reason I still have a 360 is to play it.
Yeah. No, it's
so you think this is real? It's really coming back?
I think it's really coming back. I think it's really coming back.
All right, and they're going to have real players.
Training Company Dynasty League, get signed up.
Yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
You better get ready to get that noise brought.
All right, we're going to get Denard Robinson in on this, too.
Definitely.
I love it.
I mean, I just hope it's very similar. NCAA football is a better game than Madden. I don't care what anybody says.
Madden's trash.
People say Madden's better?
I don't know who says that.
I don't know. Communists do, I guess.
If they do.
I don't know. But NCAA football is the complete package. But speaking about packages, all right, I'm talking about UPS or FedEx. Our friends over at Genucel, they just upgraded their most popular package to feature their top-selling deep firming vitamin C serum plus ultra retinol moisturizer with natural retinol alternative. I mean, look at our faces, right? Clean, clear, absolutely delicious. Thanks to our friend over at Genucel. Anybody can use it. I know Mother's Day's gone, but Father's Day's coming up. I'm just telling you guys, Reed uses it, I use it, and it's fantastic. And you can take advantage of this limited time package upgrade for 70% off. All right, literally they're giving this away. I mean, you only have to pay for 30% of it. So why waste money and time to go get work done on your face when you can get Genucel skincare shipped right to your door? Go to Genucel.com. That's GENUCEL.com/booster and try Genucel's most popular package, like I said, for 70% off that features the ultra retinol and Genucel's firming serum. Get a complimentary Spa Essentials box with every package order, plus free upgrade to priority shipping. This is a fantastic deal. It's really easy, helps support the show and the great people over there at Genucel. That's Genucel.com/booster. They're the official skincare provider of the New Jersey Devils. I know the Devils are out of it, but they went to the playoffs and had a very successful season. So if you want to have a successful season and whatever you do, go to Genucel.com/booster.
Well, I tell you, I got Darby Lou the complete package for Mother's Day, and she was pumped about it. She loved it. But that ultra retinol, that extra pack, it came separately. So it was almost like she got a second bonus.
Double helping?
Now, I'm not going to pretend like I know what ultra retinol is or what it does, but the look in her face, she was excited.
Yeah, well, you got the complete package for the complete package. That's what you did right there. What's going on in the club?
All right, let's go to our annual Cole Frank $5 donation. LeBron is mid, MJ's a goat. Jake, good luck on the plane. If it crashes, we will miss you.
That's a great comment. Thank you, but also don't use the C word. I don't want to hear the C word.
Well, I didn't use the C word, but I did make the poll, will Jake's plane make it to France?
I tried to change it and then got a lot of hate.
What a horrible thing to do.
That's your kin.
What do you do?
I tell you.
I just want to see where the booster club stood at mentally.
It's always Joe.
I just want to see where the booster club stood at.
Yeah, what a Boromir thing to say.
Wow. Let's go to Rayleigh Allen. Hashtag Ask Crandon Company. With all this talk about the Bama offense and potentially struggling at quarterback, can Kevin Steele/Nick Saban get the defense where it needs to be to overcome struggles offensively?
Yeah, look, you put Kevin, you talk about years and a wealth of experience on the defensive side of the ball and guys that understand what each other want to do. I mean, Kevin Steele has worked with Nick Saban many times. They have a really, really good rapport. There's not going to be a lot of having to feel each other out in what you want to do. You know the expectation. Schematically, you know what he wants to do with the rip-liz match coverage, running two-man on third down, manipulating blitzes, disguising as well as anybody in the country. And Kevin Steele and Nick Saban sitting in a room, coming up with the defensive plan or the inner workings or the installation of how they want to do and maybe want to tweak some things. That is the best defensive combination of any coaches in the country.
Alabama is going to be better on defense. They have to be. Even if one of those quarterbacks ends up being good, they're not going to be as good as the last four you've had with Tua and Jalen and Bryce and Mac. So I think Nick Saban is going to double down on what he's always been best at.
For sure.
And that defense was not great last year.
No, it wasn't, which is surprising to see, very surprising to see.
Let's go Mike RFF, baby. It's a lifestyle. $5 donation. We're going to get to this, I know, but I have 3 donations. Do we have a favorite to win the PGA, a sleeper, and someone you are fading?
Ooh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
All over that.
Let's go to Walmart, Elon Musk.
Nice.
At Crandon Company. What are the odds they put a female kicker in the new game?
I really hope not, but I'm never gonna say never when it comes to companies and especially after watching the new Miller Lite commercial, which by the way, Bud Light's coming out with a new camo bottle, Budweiser is coming out with a new camo bottle to try and look cool again. And like I said on social media, well now at least when nobody buys it, it'll blend in and you can't tell.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. What a smart move.
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod. He says, did you hear about the YouTuber who got convicted for purposely crashing his plane to get YouTube views?
What?
Really?
Well, that's not me. This YouTuber, oh, you hear about the one who got famous by being on the plane that didn't crash? Yeah, me. That one's going to be me. It's going to be me.
All right, let's go to Texas Ed, which is worse. I tweeted this the other day. Picnic next to a bear or sitting next to Jake on a plane?
How about
I don't know if
snakes
you're
on a plane? Here's the thing. I don't cause a ruckus, but I get my hands sweat. Every bump, I think we're going down, right? Like I check out, I look at the pilots when we get on, like, you know, I need to make sure everything's all right. Like I'm the one that when we land, I'm like, what an amazing job. What an amazing job.
You're clapping out loud on the plane?
Oh, for sure. Out of just pure joy and happiness that we landed. Like my favorite part of flying is the part where I get out of the plane in that connector. I don't care if it's negative 30 degrees. I don't care if we land in Iran, however the hell they say it now. I'm just happy it landed.
See, that's interesting. The worst part of flying commercial for me is the airport. Like, I don't need to be dealing with
I love the airport. I love the airport.
That's the worst
You want to know why?
Just get me on the plane. Let's get in the air.
You want to know why? Because the airport's attached to the ground. That's why.
Yeah.
If I fall out of the airport, I'll be all right.
Sorry, the people waving their wands against me.
Taking off and landing is just what we get.
All right, one more, and then we get into rapid fire.
All right, let's go to Connie Iran. He wants to know, will they allow trans players in the new NCAA game? And will there be a pride game?
I hope not. I do say, will they give you the option to make a female on Road to Glory? That's the real question. I feel like if they were going to sneak it in anywhere, you know, then that's where they do it. But I wonder if they'll have, you know how they do like the things where you complete the task and you get like experience points and stuff like that? Are they going to have like a Sarah Fuller one? But see, if they did that, like you couldn't make it hard. Like what's the whole thing? You just got to kick the ball off.
Week 3, you got to go.
Just squib it and you win it.
Sensitivity class.
Yeah, you get. All right, let's get to rapid fire.
Let's do it. Man, you guys see this basketball game last night? Mm-hmm. Heat 123, Celtics 116. What a great game.
The man, Jimmy Butler. That's right. And I'm not saying the Spanish version of his name. Jimmy with an H. I mean, let's be realistic. I've seen a lot of guys turn up in the playoffs, all right? And did he drop 50? No, but it was when he turned up. There was a time there, kind of in the second quarter, maybe a little bit in the third quarter, where you didn't see a ton from Jimmy Butler. They were down 10, and then all of a sudden, just like he shot out of a cannon. But watching this game, I was shocked. The Heat shot really well. Really, really well. But Jimmy Butler from the mid-range is unstoppable. He's unstoppable. I'm watching him turn and spin and shoot, and not even see the basket until the ball's released from his hand. They put multiple guys on him, but it wasn't just Jimmy Butler, who did play 43 minutes, which is 6 minutes more than any other player played for the Heat. He was 12 of 25 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, got to the free throw line 10 times. One of the best things that Jimmy Butler does is get to the free throw line. It's almost like he's shooting double-digit free throws in every game. He had 8 rebounds, or he had 5 assists and a steal, and only 3 turnovers. You know, there's some championship DNA, too, in this Heat team. You look at Kevin Love. You look at Kyle Lowry, who kept them in it for a stretch the other night, hit a couple threes in a row. I thought Kyle Lowry was the unsung hero of this game. He ended up with 15 points, went 3 of 5 from 3, and played 28 minutes. And then Cody Martin. Like, again.
I like his game, man.
I like his game because he is a defensive player that has figured out a way to be effective offensively. I mean, the man last night dropped 15 points. He played 30 minutes. Yeah. All right, he played 30 minutes, which is almost double what Kevin Love played. I was shocked. At how efficient the Heat were on offense because the Celtics defensively are a really good team. But just like I said the other day, you don't judge a player based on one game. And Jason Tatum, when he had that big game the other day in the conference semifinals, you know, all I talked about during the season and why I said I would rather have Jalen Brunson than Jason Tatum, and some people think I'm nuts for saying that, is that when it comes to the conference finals and the NBA finals, and we have enough evidence to back this up, this man will disappear. And last night, he hurt them badly in the last 3 minutes. Turned it over, and I know he had 30 points, and that's great, but sometimes it's about when you get them, not how many you get. And Jason Tatum last night cost him in the biggest moments. And he did it last year in the NBA Finals, and that's been the big bugaboo. He's an incredible player, top 5 player in the world, to me, finished 4th in the MVP voting. But it seems when you get to the conference finals and you get to the NBA finals, there's something there, man. There's something there. And last night it was proof again. So all the people on social media who was like, Jason Tatum scored 51, you're crazy. All right, I said I need to see it in the conference finals. I need to see it in the NBA finals. And we just didn't see it, man.
So this was basically a one-bucket game all the way until a couple minutes before halftime. Celtics go up by double digits. Heat charge back in the third. How'd you feel about this game, and what do you think about Jason Tatum at the end?
Well, I don't think Jason Tatum's a problem, obviously. I think he got outscored by 20 points in the third quarter. If we really look at the stats in this game, I mean, the Heat shot 52% from three. The Celtics outscored the Heat 22 points in the paint. Rebounding was about even. But, I mean, you can't say something to the point when it comes down late. You need Jason Tatum to not turn the ball over. And I think that finals stretch, especially late, is kind of marked him with that problem. But, I mean, he had 4 turnovers, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, I think the bench obviously has to play, well, not the bench, but Robert Williams has to play better, right? They just don't have enough.
I thought Robert Williams
played good, but the thing about it is, like, I need more than 7 boards from you.
Yeah.
All right? You're not in there to score 30 points.
In the first 10 minutes, it looked like he was getting every board there was.
Yeah, you're in there. I don't need you to have the same amount of rebounds as Jason Tatum. All right, I need someone to be a difference, because how you beat the Heat is with a presence down low. All right, with Bam being their biggest guy. You have a presence in the paint. You outscored them by 22 points. You had the same amount of turnovers. They just shot 52% from 3, and Jimmy Butler was the difference. So, Jason, if you think he's a top 5 guy, Jake, what you just said, he needs to start playing like he needs to play with the top 5 guys, all right? Because Jimmy Butler did it on the defensive side of the ball. Jimmy Butler
and late
controlled the tempo of the offense when it comes to the Heat. And Jimmy Buckets late is a guy you can trust. I still trust Jason Tatum. He's not the problem, obviously, for the Celtics. Brown had 22 points and had 7 turnovers. So, I mean, you can point to little nuances if you want to. That's fine. But the Celtics, 1, has to shoot better. And 2, I don't know if the Celtics have enough to keep up with this team.
What do you mean by that? Because I think this
like running wise. I think about it like the Heat run. All right, that's what the Heat do.
Because they have to.
The Heat will. Okay, yeah, that's what Eric Spoelstra's always been like this. The Heat want to get out and run. All right, and the Celtics. We always know about the Celtics. What's been the one thing been the backbone of the Celtics? It's been defense. All right, you shouldn't be giving up 123 points to the Heat at home in Game 1. All right, with guys. I mean, Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you're giving up 15 to Gabe Vincent, 15 to Strus, like guys who are good players. Obviously,
Lowry.
I know that, but you shouldn't be. There should be a lockdown tendency. What has changed with the Celtics from last year to this year, personnel-wise?
Nothing.
So what's the problem?
They're still turning the basketball over.
That's the same amount of turnovers as the Heat.
No.
Well, again,
they had 3 more turnovers.
Again, it's when a lot of the turnovers is when. It's when the game is typically, when you get this deep, is determined in the last 5 minutes. That's when it's determined. And what was the Celtics' problem, and what has been the Celtics' problem? It's that they turn the ball over, but when? They turn it over late. Marcus Smart last year was a big problem. All across the team, it was a big problem. It's a lot of life is when, not how many or what. It's when. And the Celtics turned the ball over in the what separated them from the Sixers? The Sixers were the ones who disappeared in the key moments. And he thought, all right, hey, guess what? The Celtics are getting over the hump. That's the difference this year. But I'm sitting here looking at it, and you can't turn the ball over 4 times in the last 3 minutes. You can't. Like that's just
each team had 15 turnovers.
Yeah, I'm total 12 for Miami.
I'm looking at it right now. Each team had fast break points. Miami had 12. The Celtics had 15 total turnovers. Each team had 15.
Yes,
turnovers.
but it's when
you can't give up 50 points in the third quarter.
That's the biggest. What stands out when you look at the box score, and there's a game is told a lot more than just a box score. But when you give up 50 points in a quarter, basically, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable with the Celtics defense. With the personnel they have out there, with the emphasis that you've seen the Celtics put on defense, that shocked me when I watched the first half of that third quarter. I could not believe what I was seeing. Now, you got to give the Heat credit. They were making shots. I mean, they were making shots in transition. It wasn't like they were just wide open the whole night. They were making some big shots. Jimmy was hitting mid-range shots that are just Assassin's Creed style. So, look, this was huge for the Heat. They're playing with house money, man. They're playing with absolute house money, and it looked like they were playing with house money. So the Celtics, you better win the second one, because if you don't win the second one, you may get swept in Miami. Because that place is electric.
Last question on this one. How do you guys feel about Kevin Love down the stretch for the Heat?
I think Kevin Love plays exactly the role that he needs to play for this team.
Which you'd feel better about it if he were coming off the bench playing that role.
Yeah.
Starter.
Yes, but I think they've just got a good flow. I think one of the Heat's biggest strengths is that their roles are carved out, right? Like sometimes with the Celtics, it's like, all right, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum in crunch time or during certain times. It seems that everybody with the Heat, and I think you get this a lot, when you have 7 undrafted guys, that come off the bench and help. It's not like they're not helping, but even a champion like Kevin Love, a guy that has been through the grinder of the NBA, he's already earned his stripes, but he still understands his role. There's a team element to the Heat that I think makes the difference in clutch moments. They really, really know who they are. And it's not like they know they need to get the ball to Jimmy in crunch time, but nobody's starving for attention on that team. And I think that does separate them a little bit. And I think the Nuggets are kind of the same way a little bit. Nobody's starved for attention. Jokic is fine passing the ball every time when they double him. Nobody is starving to be the guy. I need to be the guy. And you want your stars to step up, and your star and your biggest player and the guy you're playing the most to step up and have the ball in clutch moments. But there's a lot more that comes with that. I just think the team aspect for the Heat, that leads to such great chemistry that's why it seems they always make the right play in the clutch moment. And let's not forget, guys, they lost the first playing game to the Hawks and got beat up by a team they were more physical than. Then they were trailing the Bulls in the last 3 minutes and had to come back to win. Sometimes, and we talk about this a little bit in other sports, right? You see your season flash before your eyes and it does something to you. It just does. I don't want to go home. I don't want this to end, especially the guys that are uber competitive. So I think this series is going to continue to be fantastic.
Nuggets, Lakers, you talked about it, game 2 tonight in Denver.
I think this is a must win for Denver. I think they've got to win the first 2 at home. All right, the question is, I'm taking the over. You're going to see that later. Can the Lakers score enough to keep up with them? Because watching them the other night, they're going to throw double teams at Jokic. They're going to try and mix it up. You're not stopping that. You're not stopping Jokic. Whether that's him killing you with points and putbacks and shots, or it's him killing you because you're doubling him and he's finding Jamal Murray wide open, or Aaron Gordon's cutting to the basket, or Bruce Brown's coming in and getting his. I think the Lakers have to score over 125 to win this game. Nuggets been the best offense in the playoffs. Lakers been the best defense in the playoffs. And even with Anthony, the best sign for the Nuggets, I think, was that Anthony Davis had a huge game and they still won.
Yeah.
And they still won. And they didn't get out-physicaled and beat up. But I feel like this is a must-win for the Nuggets.
What about you, Blaine?
Well, obviously, it's a must-win. I don't think you need to split with the Lakers. I have the Lakers winning this in 6, so I think the Lakers win this game tonight. I think D'Angelo Russell has to play a lot better than what he did in the first game. 8 points is just not going to be enough. He's going to have to run with Jamal Murray a little bit. Jamal Murray's obviously been one of the difference for the Nuggets if you include Jokic. But, it was Michael Porter Jr. Does he have the same game? Does Austin Reeves play a different first half than what he did against the Nuggets? I think the Lakers started figuring out the Nuggets a little bit. As long as that game went, the defense got better and better and better for the Lakers. The Nuggets shot extremely well. Yeah, you go back and look at that game, especially in the first quarter. They shot extremely well. They jumped them. Yeah, so I think Anthony Davis will settle in a little bit. You can't give up that many offensive boards and expect to win against this team. You need to be at least in the 110s if they want to win, because if it's 120 plus, I'm going to go with the Nuggets.
Blaine, I want to ask you this question because you're deeply involved with the Lakers. What's more important to the Lakers winning with Anthony Davis? Is it him getting rebounds or is it him scoring points? Because I feel like the Lakers can find other ways to score points, but Jokic destroyed them and the Nuggets destroyed them on the boards. And the Lakers don't have another guy down low, really.
That's it. Anthony Davis is it.
That's kind of a hole to me a little bit.
It's kind of a pick your poison type of thing here because you need both. Like, you really need both. If you're talking about winning games against teams like this, against a guy like Jokic, you got to do both because he's going to do both. I would rather you have 17 and 21, right? I'd rather you have 20-plus boards than 30-plus points because it goes back. Like, you got guys. Austin Reeves has been the guy for the Lakers in the playoff scoring.
Schroeder's been good, too.
Schroeder's been good, especially from the outside. He's improved that shot a lot. Hashimura played pretty good in Game 1. I was impressed with him, especially when he started playing on defense on Jokic late. But the thing with the Lakers, like, you have to control the paint. All right, even if it's a scratch rebounding with Anthony Davis and Jokic, you just can't, give up offensive boards. You gave up 15-plus offensive boards. You're not going to beat that team if you do that. All right, so I'd rather be, if you're the Lakers, you're one of those teams right now, you want this game to be muddy, dirty, grungy, physical in every type of way. Because even like as physical as the Nuggets they are, I think they're more of a finesse team. Right, they kind of remind me of Suns, but play a little bit better defense. Right, that's the Western teams for you. Right, they can shoot at an elite clip, but defensively, I don't think they're one of the best teams.
They're not.
I think if you're the Lakers, you want to get this game dirty. You want it early to be not being called fouls, a lot of fouls. You want that type of game because if the Nuggets will finesse you in this game and you will get killed.
Mm-hmm. Well, as much as you'd like to go up 2-0 if you're Denver and get those first 2 at home, I don't see it necessarily as a must-win just because I don't think it's unreasonable to think Denver can go into LA and at the very least split with the roster they have and with the back-to-back MVP winner. But let's see. I mean, you'd much rather go up 2-0 for sure.
Yeah.
All right. PGA Championship preview, boys.
Yes.
Who you guys taking? Oak Hill.
Why does it just smell like Rory this weekend?
You think so?
I don't know why. I'm waking up smelling the potatoes, man.
Hasn't been pretty for him since the Masters,
but
man.
that's typically when they
tournaments. So you think he's going to strike hard here?
I think Rory. Right now, and look, I know this isn't a crazy take. Rory McIlroy's one of the best golfers in the world, but it feels like Rory this weekend. Maybe JT, but it feels like Rory. And I'm not the biggest Rory McIlroy fan. Do I trust him? No, I don't. Do I think I'd have a fun time hanging out with him? I don't know. Probably not. But I do think he's going to have a really good tournament.
Rory seems cool.
I don't know.
Hang out with Rory.
He's got some full swing. He wasn't bad.
He's got some speed in him. The cameras were rolling.
Oh, okay.
He's withdrawn from a couple tournaments, but this course sets up really well for him. Do you like Rory this week?
Well, I feel like when you ever walk into a golf tournament, you should like Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
Isn't it, right? Obviously, you like Scotty Chef.
Well, he's the odds-on favorite right now, plus 700.
Number one player in the world.
Right, but, I mean, yeah, so obviously you like him. But me, for some reason, Tommy Fleetwood.
I love Tommy Fleetwood.
Screaming at me right now.
What are his odds?
His odds are right now plus 5,500.
What's Rory's?
So he's third. He's at plus 1,600.
Plus 1,600. All right, I got Hideki plus 7,000. And I have a little thing with me is like ever since I told myself I was going to bet Hideki, then forgot to bet Hideki and he won the Masters.
Yeah,
that was
bad. That was I remember that.
Jordan Spieth is interesting right now at plus 4,500. I understand why you're saying you don't believe in it, but we're still talking about a multi-major champion, and this is the major he needs to complete the career Grand Slam. So he's always going to come to this tournament with an intense focus, and the odds right now being at plus 4,500 to win the tournament, I think you get good value there.
What about Brooks?
Look, all these live guys. Brooks right now is going off at plus 2,200. He's in the top 10. I'm even thinking Dustin Johnson. Like, Dustin Johnson's still going to win big tournaments at some point. Plus 3,000 there. Or even one of the other live guys, Cam Smith, plus 3,500.
Yeah, now, look, Dustin Johnson seems like he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with. I'd much rather hang out with Dustin Johnson. Not because of his crazy, now Dustin Johnson. Not old Dustin Johnson.
I'll tell you another one, Matthew Fitzpatrick. We talked about him a lot in the full swing.
Could do it.
Plus 3,000 right now.
He got that.
Watch for old the young bull Victor Hovland out there too. Now Victor can Victor can
the
swing.
Swedish assassin.
Sooner or later he's gonna get one.
Victor's like, let me hit some ball.
Hold on, what were Phil's odds? Plus 25,000 on
plus
Phil
25,000
right now. Yeah,
sprinkle a little bit on.
Pull up do we have the pin placements? They released the pin placements.
Oh, they did?
Today, round 1. I know this is a little bit tough to see here, but I wanted this graphic, and I'm going to tell you that of these 18 holes, only 2 of them have pin placements that are farther than 10 paces from the edge of the green. So 16 of the 18 are under 10 paces.
You better stick it like Simone
Like our boy B. Cercio said, diabolical pin placements today.
You guys are evil.
After what I had to go through on the back nine of the Ozark National, I feel like I could come out here and play this game.
Yeah.
What was it, like 440 par 4s?
Dude, like 5 in
It's like, hey man, let me go and bring out this 5-wood for my second shot out of the fairway, this par 4.
No, some of those, how long were some of those? They were longer than that.
Dude, there were ones that almost 500 yards.
There was 490.
There's a stretch there, and look, I can hit a golf ball now. That golf course was stretching to the max. It was par. If you could walk away with the par in some of those holes, you're Gucci Montana.
Oh, God.
Y'all shooting under 100 on this?
No.
Under 100?
Under 100.
Well,
each 9.
Yeah, when we scramble it.
If we're scrambling, yeah. But by myself, how many mulligans I get?
1 each 9.
Nah. Not on that one. Not with that pin placement.
1 each hole? Is that what you said? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Oh,
we're not talking about y'all when y'all played last weekend.
That feels like he's saying that we're cheaters without trying to use the word.
I already talked to David. Don't worry about it.
What? Sorry, you took that L in the
If
first
you mean just playing with your uncle is cheating, then yes. Because he's
Tell me
really
the mullies
good.
y'all took.
0.
All right.
We literally had no mulligans. He was probably messing with you, but we didn't have to take mulligans.
I mean,
we were watching y'all. We were watching y'all play.
We picked up our gimmies, but we already knew that.
Y'all
watching us play.
Yeah.
How was I watching? Y'all were behind us.
Yeah, and you were watching us from the tee box.
I'm locked in.
We were watching y'all. Y'all missed.
You were watching.
I'm not looking at my pass.
Look, y'all missed more 6-footers than a women's basketball team.
Well, look, you put me with 2 of my little cousins.
They're 24 and 20 years old.
Yeah.
You got to stop acting like they're 11 years old.
The kid can't even drink a beer in public.
They play more than we do. Yeah.
Who told you that?
I just, watching them tee off on 18, I'm like, look, they're good.
Blaine acts like they're 10 years old. They're grown men. They're 20 and 24.
I don't know. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't even drink a beer. I don't know if you're
like I'm saying. Like I said, excuses and prisoners.
It's going to be a fun tournament, though. That's it for now.
All right, let's get to the Booster Club before we get Parker Thune on here.
All right, let's go to Lance Weaver, $5 donation. Thank you, Lance. He's like, what do y'all think could be the next sleeping giant like Clemson? Just takes the right guy at a time. I think Minnesota, Colorado, Washington, and Arkansas are teams to watch out for.
Well, I think Washington is the best one you said there. Look, we know how talented the Pac-12 is going to be, but Washington invests a lot of money in athletics. Like as different as that state is out there with some of the things they do, when it comes to college football and athletics, I think they're top 7 in the country in investing in athletics. And there's talent out there, man. There's a ton of talent out there. I've recruited out there before. So, when I'm looking at teams that may have a chance to put something together that's legitimate for a while, I think Washington's one. I think Utah's one, staying out there in the Pac-12. I'm really, really big, and I know we just had Coach McGuire run. I think Texas Tech, especially when Oklahoma and Texas leave the Big 12, it's going to create that vacuum. Don't be shocked if you see them really kind of upgrade their profile and help us upgrade our profile by making sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well.
All right, let's go to Jiffer. $5 donation. Appreciate it, Jiffer. Careful here now. Said EA's trash and has always been trash. It's a tough take. Was on a plane. The pilot nailed the landing on the 5th time, and an hour later, many on board found Jesus that day.
The first part of that, do I like all the EA games? No. But when it comes to NCAA football, they got that one right.
Yeah, EA earlier. They're trash now, but they're pretty good earlier. Cole Frink, $2 donation. Thank you, Cole. In the words of Dirk Bentley, hey, man, let's go get drunk on a plane.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That doesn't help. That almost makes it worse. Then my imagination really takes off. It's like Final Destination.
Oh, God, don't even say that when you're about to hop on a plane. Let's go to Texas Ed. What do we have in the Southern? Who do we have in the Southern NHL Conference Finals?
The Southern NHL Conference Finals? I mean, if we're talking true NHL, I'm going with the Canes. Like, I'm dancing with the one that brought me. I'm not switching up now. I know the Panthers are a hot pick, but if you're talking about the USHL, or are you talking about the NHL?
I have no idea.
Yeah, let's get a clarification on that. I want to make sure.
Let's go to Michael McMichelson. Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Will Jokic finish his career as a top 8 player of all time?
Keeps doing this, yeah. I mean, he keeps doing this.
He's not even top 5 in the league right now, guys.
Yeah, okay, Mark Jackson. Now, look, Jokic, to me, when you look at an all-in, you hear the term 5-tool player in baseball, right? Oh, he's a 5-tool guy. That's what Jokic is. What can Jokic not do? What can he not do on a basketball court with a basketball? He can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He can pass. He's huge. He can board. I mean, he can play physical. He can beat you with. He can drive. I mean, Jokic literally does everything. He's a 5-tool guy.
All right, let's go to David Wint. He wants to know, will the ACC end up breaking up?
I think eventually, yes. Now, I don't know, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how they're going to get out of that contract that runs through 2036, even if they want to change the revenue model. But eventually, I think they will, because I think we're going to end up with 2 super conferences, which, will basically be Fox versus ESPN in some capacity. So, yes, down the road. But right now, I know the talks are hot. They're talking for a reason, and I think they're setting something up. I don't think this is a lot of hot air. Some people think it is. But, I do think eventually down the road that the ACC will end up splitting up.
Let's go to Sister Riggs. She says, look at the teams that the Heat have beat in these playoffs. Should we be surprised that they scorched the Celtics?
Yeah, we should be surprised. What I find
on the road too.
Yeah, what I find interesting is that if the Heat would have won their first playing game, they'd be playing the Celtics in the first round. So, a lot of people forgot that. This is a matchup we could have saw earlier. But, I don't know how you're not surprised. I mean, even Vegas surprised. We talked about it yesterday. The Heat were going off at what, plus 350?
Yeah, plus 300 when I saw it.
Yeah, plus 300 to win the game. I mean, even surprised Vegas.
All right, I think we got Parker in here.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and welcome Parker Thune, our friend from Rivals. You can catch him on the radio as well. I'm going to let him plug everywhere where he's at. The man's all over the place. You see him rocking the cool, winter camo from the Rivals 5-star camp. It just makes me think of the 007 game, which, speaking of great games. But, Parker, EA Sports, NCAA Football, give me your best story.
Oh, best story, man. I think – see, the NCAA Football I grew up playing was the NCAA Football 05, which that's going back away at this point. It's already been a decade since we had any installment of NCAA Football, but it's been almost 2 decades since that game was released. But I remember, you'd play through Dynasty mode, and what was really funny was as you got deeper and deeper into Dynasty mode, every single school that geographically is situated in or near a recruiting hotbed instantly became a dynasty. So North Texas and Rice would be perennial powerhouses. Wake Forest would be a top 5 team every year. So I think that's what stands out most to me about memories of playing NCAA football growing up, is just how much weirder things would get compared to actual reality the deeper you get into dynasty mode.
Yeah, and remember, conference realignment started with NCAA Football, the video game. You could take teams from one conference to another, and in 2024 when it drops, Oklahoma, a team, Parker, you're obviously very familiar with, one that you cover like a Warren Blaken in the wintertime, will be in the SEC. I want to get a feel, just from a guy that's on the inside, how are you feeling? How are Oklahoma fans feeling about the last hurrah this year in the Big 12, and then walking into the Lions' den in the SEC? Is there a nervous feeling? Is it a nervous excitement? Is it anxiousness? Kind of what is it?
Well, I'll tell you personally, I'm stoked for SEC play, boys, because I'm coming at you right now from a Panera outside Wichita, Kansas. This is the nature of life on the road in Big 12 territory. And every time I hear Jack White sing the last verse of Seven Nation Army and he goes, I'm going to Wichita, I feel like I can say this as a native Midwesterner. I just find myself asking, why? Why Wichita? Why anywhere in this neck of the woods? So I think, in my humble opinion, SEC territory in general, SEC road venues, and this is far from a hot take, but the entire SEC experience, I think, is just going to be so far and away above what OU fans have been used to for decades in the Big 12. And I think this is a program that competitively is in a place based on the way that they recruited these last couple cycles and based on the way that they've attacked the transfer portal. I think they're in a place where you give it a year, you give Venables year 2, one final hurrah in the Big 12. I think by that time, Oklahoma should be in a place where they're able to jump right into the SEC and be competitive. And I'm not talking on Alabama and Georgia's level, because those two programs are head and shoulders above the rest right now, not just in the SEC, but in all of college football. I think Oklahoma fans are cautiously optimistic about the pending move to the SEC. And I don't think last year's 6-17 did a whole lot to detract from that, simply because everybody kind of understood in the moment and understands all the more in hindsight that what Venables was dealing with was a complete reversal of the existing culture.
For sure, and the identity of the team. You're looking at the physicality that Brent Venables brings, and obviously with his defensive background, that's something that he understands. Not that Lincoln didn't want to be physical, and I think a lot of Lincoln's offense is predicated on physicality when you look at the play-action game, off the power and gap scheme runs. But Parker, for our audience that may not be familiar with what Oklahoma has coming back, can you give us just a quick preview offensively and defensively on what you expect the Sooners to roll out there this year?
Yeah, so they lost a lot of key pieces on both sides of the ball. Obviously, Anton Harrison, their stud left tackle, was a first-round draft pick. Wanye Morris, their right tackle, was a third-round pick of the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think if you're looking at a position group that has the most questions as to how you replace some of the assets that you lost, it's the offensive line for Oklahoma. Now, there are a couple position groups, and I would point more so towards the interior defensive line heading into the year, where you're not necessarily losing anybody hugely significant, but you also got massive questions as to whether anybody's going to be able to step up and fill the void, because that defense was not good a year ago. And to a certain extent, I would say to a great extent, it came down to personnel, just not having the dudes to be able to play the type of defense that Brent Venables wants to play and wants to scheme at Oklahoma. But the interior defensive line, certainly, and I think the wide receiver room are two groups right now where there aren't a ton of clear answers as to who's going to be the guy. And with regard to the wide receivers, it's a kind of a jarring little factoid, but one that I've cited repeatedly. The Sooners have exactly 2 receivers coming back, guys. 2 receivers returning to this roster that have caught more than 3 passes in an Oklahoma uniform. So there's talent in that room. As I said, they've recruited really well, especially at those skill positions over the last couple of years. So it's not as if they're devoid of playmakers. I think everybody's just waiting to see who it is that emerges.
Yeah.
Parker, the arch rival Texas Longhorns will also be joining Oklahoma in the SEC. Steve Sarkisian entering year 3. You lose Bijan Robinson, but they're going to bring back Quinn Ewers for a second year. Arch Manning's now on campus. And Texas is the odds-on favorite right now to win the Big 12, I think going off around plus 115. Will Texas win the Big 12 this year?
No, I don't think Texas will win the Big 12. And I don't know if this is more something that people really catch on to in Big 12 territory because they're subjected to it every year, if this even extends out to where you guys are in the Southeast. But it seems the national narrative is the exact same every offseason regarding Texas, which is
true.
This is the year, right?
Yeah.
This is the year.
Did you say Texas or Texas A&M? I couldn't tell.
Texas or Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, they say everything's bigger in Texas, and that's certainly the case regarding hype as far as Texas football is concerned. I mean, it feels like we've heard the exact same storylines and the exact same narratives pushed every offseason for the last decade, and it just hasn't gelled for Texas. And they've won double-digit games once in the span of that decade.
That's wild.
And I know Urban Meyer came out, and he had those comments that made the rounds on social media where he basically asserted that Texas has the most talented roster in the country. I just can't get on board with that.
Yeah.
And I think there's talent there to be certain, but the issue for Texas, when you go back 10, 15 years, it's never been talent. Talent's always been there. The issue has been culture and getting your guys on the same page and getting them to play cohesively. And also, you can't look past the loss of Bijan Robinson. And not only that, but the loss of Rashawn Johnson, who was an NFL draft pick as well at the running back position. Those 2 guys in the backfield, they drove the bus for Texas offensively last year. Quinn Ewers, outside of a couple games where he was solid and at times showed flashes of being spectacular, I thought was very pedestrian a season ago. So I'm not saying it can't or won't happen for Texas. I'm just saying I've been down this road enough times that I'm willing to bet on the safe option, which is that it's another year of 8-9 wins for Texas and they don't meet those preseason expectations. It's become commonplace.
And add in a trip to Tuscaloosa this year, too, for them.
Yeah.
They're going to go to Alabama there early.
Parker, first question, what'd you get today at Panera? I mean, what life you living in Panera today?
Man, I woke up at about 4 a.m. to get on the road. So I was starving. I went with a bagel. Chocolate chip.
Nice.
That's my go-to.
Classy.
And then I
Classic.
did a breakfast sandwich on ciabatta as well.
Oh, wow. A gentleman and a scholar.
I tell you what.
Sign an autograph for
Chalk, you can't go wrong. You can put I'm one of those people, you can put chocolate chips and bacon on anything and I'll eat it. Anything. Ice cream.
Anything?
Anything. And, well, okay. Within the realm
They put bacon on that donut that we had, Blaine?
They never brought it back. And that did it one time. It was the most delicious thing I ever had in my life.
I don't need to even look at it right now. I'm doing so good. I'm so proud of myself. You are too.
I don't even want to think about it.
All right, well, don't bring it up, David. All right, let's go to Travis Elrod. You're right. He wants a question for you, Parker. He says, if OU has a bad year, what are the odds that OU will want a new head coach heading into the SEC?
Ooh, I think the odds are low. And I think that's just because if you're going to play ball with the big boys in the SEC, you need a defensive-minded head coach, and there is no better defensive mind in the country than Brent Venables. I think most would be on the same page in that regard. And I know Oklahoma is not a school that historically has had many prolonged periods of being down and being non-competitive nationally. And so, yeah, people are a little bit uneasy about the 6-7 record last year. But again, I think it's easy to understand when you consider the hand that Venables was dealt. So Oklahoma, to me, given what I know about the leadership amongst the athletic administration in that building, I don't feel as though those are folks that are going to feel the need to make a change after 2 years if things aren't working, especially on the precipice of that big move to the SEC. Because if you're jumping into the SEC with both feet, you got to have some semblance of stability. And what you don't want to be doing is overhauling a coaching staff, overhauling a roster again, having to deal with inbound and outbound portal guys and a myriad thereof while you're trying to get acclimated to the demands of SEC play.
Yeah, continuity is important.
Parker, I want to know this. When joining the SEC, is there a team, in there that you just dislike more than the rest? A new rivalry? Could it be born? Do you have a team in your mind?
Man, so I think for me, I don't know that one springs to mind immediately. I think if you asked the OU fan base, they would probably say Florida,
that's
just because their memories of that 2009 BCS championship game where DeMarco Murray wasn't healthy and that offense was pretty hamstrung all night against the Gators. I think that's still very much embedded in their collective psyche. And so Florida has been thrown out there as an option potentially for one of Oklahoma's 3 permanent annual opponents. And I think that's a really tantalizing possibility. I love the Swamp. Been there for game days on multiple occasions. It's an awesome environment. And I think with as passionate as the Oklahoma fan base is and as passionate as the Florida fan base is, if you get that matchup going every single year, you're going to get to the point down the road 5-10 years in the future where it's something you're looking forward to. That's
a rivalry I can get behind.
Definitely. Well, Parker, man, thanks so much for joining us. Tell everybody where they can find you. I know you're on the road. You're a hard worker. That's why you've gotten where you're at. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So OUinsider.com is a service of the Rivals Network. Myself, Brandon Drum, Jesse Crittenden, our whole staff, covering OU top to bottom, cover to cover every single day of the year. I'm out on the recruiting trail, I would say 10, 11 months out of the year, which is what I'm doing today. So you can follow me on Twitter at Parker Thune. That's an easy way to keep up with wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing. But yeah, OUinsider.com on the Rivals Network. We just partnered with Rivals at the beginning of the month. Very excited for the new chapter, and you can grab a 30-day free trial with promo code OUinsider. You head over to Rivals.com and jump on board.
Well, Parker, we appreciate it, man. Oklahoma, it's a great play. Question is, will they play great? Thank you so much, Parker.
Absolutely, guys. Take care.
Hey, you too,
buddy.
One of the best when it comes to covering the Big 12. Parker, really gets it if you've ever heard him. The Oklahoma side, yes, but he really understands what's going on in the Big 12 conference. It's always fun to talk with him. It's always a golden time, all right? And we all know, we see the commercials about gold on TV all the time that's coming up and telling you to buy gold and it's safe and it's smart. And that's never been more true than it is right now. I mean, you heard, Trump talking about, from Mar-a-Lago, talking about the currency's crashing and the dollar will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat literally in 200 years. And he's right when you look at the devaluation of the dollar right now. And there's 3 reasons that the central banks are dumping the U.S. dollar: inflation, deficit spending, and our insurmountable national debt, which is just absolutely nuts, yet we keep spending. I don't understand it. The fact is, there's only one asset that has withstood famine, wars, coaching changes, and political and economic upheaval dating back to biblical times. And that's gold. It's gold, all right? And we all know, just like the Austin Powers movie, we love gold. Absolutely love it. Reed loves the stuff. She's basically Cleopatra. But with our friends over at Birch Gold, they can help you own gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account. That's right. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k, maybe from a previous employer, into an IRA in gold, because we love it. All right, so when currencies fail, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Who knows? So protect your savings with gold. They have an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers. So do this for us if you're really down to do it and you want to make this smart play, because I'm doing it. Text BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to 989898. That's BOOSTER to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold. Again, text BOOSTER to 989898. It will truly be a golden decision.
These sort of decisions, that's how wealth is created.
That's exactly right.
Hedging your portfolio with gold has historically been a good decision, and it will continue to be a good decision.
If you're going to do it, use our friends over at Birch. Booster 989898. All right. Let's get back to the club. Make sure everybody subscribe, hit that like button, continue to help us grow. We have so many people that hit us up talking about, thank you guys for saving sports for us. Well, do it right by us and share the show. We'd really appreciate it.
And candles.
And candles.
Candles.
We're selling candles
now.
And guys, apparently we're pretty good candle salesmen, from what I heard.
Flying off the shelves.
Flying off the shelves. And rumor has it, we keep selling these like we're selling them. That Flaming Dragon candle with the fireball scent. I mean, we got it on set right here.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Those things are going to sell. That's just going to be like selling gold for free. All right? The Daily Wire candles are now live on the website at dailywire.com/shop. That's dailywire.com/shop. So head on over, get your Crane & Company candle. We got the Get Off My Lawn one with ones with our beautiful faces on it. And while you're also there, get the fresh scented Get Off My Lawn candle that smells as good as it sounds. And we may have another Crane & Company candle coming soon that I already hinted to, so I already got to that. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
Let's go to Nick, a.k.a. the Stash Ambassador. He wants to know, what do you think Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston will do after leaving the American Conference?
I think you're going to have some do well. I think BYU has a chance to do well. The one I'm most interested in, and not talking about this year because I think they're going to take their lumps, is Houston in the long term. Because it's such a fertile recruiting ground. You don't have to leave the city to be able to put a team together that can win the Big 12. That's the one I don't trust Satterfield at Cincinnati. I don't. I'm sorry. I thought it was a horrible hire. When it comes to UCF, I think Malzahn's offense the first couple of years, especially with a guy that can run like Plumlee, can create some problems. I think their depth up front is what's going to cost them. BYU is interesting to me. BYU is an interesting team. I know you didn't mention them, but it's going to be a learning experience, especially in your first year where Texas and Oklahoma are still there. We know they're not going to be there in the next year. So you'll have a couple that do well. I would think Cincinnati and Houston struggle more than UCF and BYU in year one, but I really want to see what Dana Holgorsen and Houston can do in the long term in the Big 12 because I think their growth potential is off the charts.
Cincinnati would have been more interesting with Luke Fickell still at the helm coming in.
Hell yeah.
But now he's off to Wisconsin. And like you said, Gus Malzahn, he's going to beat some teams that he's not supposed to, but Gus Malzahn's going to lose to a couple teams he's not supposed to either.
All right, let's go to Michael Gillett, # Crane & Company. Did y'all cover Harrison Butker's commencement speech last or this week?
We're going to. We got something special for you.
Something very special.
Something very special. So there's a reason we're keeping that close to the vest.
All right, let's go to Feeling Dangerous 113, $5 donation. It says, got in late. Hopefully the relaunch of NCAA football causes EA to actually remake Madden next year. The game hasn't changed in 10 years.
Yeah, and it's funny how they always talk about it's changing or whatever, and then you play the game, you're like, this is exactly the same thing. And speaking of video games, they said the new Grand Theft Auto is dropping in like 2024 or 2025. To me, outside of sports games, because I grew up playing mostly sports games, all right? Like I played the old Batman on Sega Genesis and Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart. I'm down. I'll play it all night long. Love it. Absolutely love it. But Grand Theft Auto, I remember like me and my buddies when we were younger would play it and just have a blast. Like you could play that game like, and not even doing anything, and like 8 hours will go by. Grand Theft Auto, one of the greatest games ever created. Like people play Elden Ring and God of War and stuff like that.
You like
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, it got voted
Grand Theft Auto beats Elden Ring in them 10 out of 10 times.
You didn't even play Elden Ring.
I watched you play it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I watched you play Elden Ring. Oh, okay, thanks.
My brother Aaron says if it doesn't have a scoreboard, I'm not any good at that video game.
Yeah, like
He's
again,
right.
I'm not big in World of Warcraft and all that stuff. I mean, it's basically the same thing.
As Elden Ring?
I'm talking, they're in the same like genre.
Is that a fighting game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it like
with what? Made up characters? Right?
It's a video game.
Yeah, a fighting video game with made up characters. Man, sounds a lot like World of Warcraft, doesn't it?
Like Super Smash Bros, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then.
I'm not saying Elden Ring is about. I don't know why you take this personally.
I did like the Mario games though.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah. Well, Elden Ring got voted the best game like ever made.
Cool.
Like, ever made. It is. If you played Elden Ring, you know the real one's not.
I'm not saying Elden Ring is bad.
I don't have to walk down this path.
I'm not saying Elden Ring is bad. I'm saying I like Grand Theft Auto better.
Game too. The thing about GTA is like, I don't know. I'd rather play it online with other people and just by myself. I'm just going to Bubbly Gut. He wants to know, Will Muschamp is the defensive genius. All right. Also, he sucked as a head coach.
Yeah.
All right. What will make Venables different?
We're going to have to see. I mean, I don't think we can answer that question right now. How do you adjust? We talked about this the other day. They're two totally different jobs. Obviously, you're not focused on one side of the ball. You've doubled the amount of players you have to focus on, and you can't let the offense think, oh, well, he just cares about the defense, and then all of a sudden it's like you have two head coaches, the head coach and the offensive coordinator. I say that it's like being the Secretary of State one year and then the president the next. While they're in the same realm, they are two totally different jobs, and you have to have many, many more skills to be the president than the Secretary of State, even though, I mean, right now, I guess it really doesn't matter. Maybe that's not the best example. Apparently, you just got to be able to, somewhat find your way off a stage. You can be president.
All right, let's go to Death of Democracy. Just need a release date on that flaming dragon candle. I'll buy some for the whole family, man.
We'll get you the info.
All right, let's go to Glegby. He says, okay, no, Jake. GTA is not as good as Elden Ring. GTA is overrated.
Well,
all right, just because is a better GTA than the old GTA, and Elden Ring is better than both by a mile.
Okay. First off, GTA isn't overrated, Glegby. You need to watch your mouth. That's, I don't know exactly where you're going, but I'm going to take it as disrespect. I guess it just comes down to preference, man. Like I like peanut butter more than jelly. But there's people out there, I'm sure jelly won some awards, got voted one of the best foods that there is or whatever. I just like Grand Theft Auto better than Elden Ring.
Let's see what Reed has to say.
I love and support you, but you're wrong.
See?
Reed has no idea what Elden Ring or Grand
that was
Theft
her
Auto
lie.
is.
Yeah, Reed, you have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea, Reed.
I tell you what. Okay.
Let's go to Deacon. Deacon
wait.
Nora wants to know.
Can't wait.
Did you mow the lawn yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I did mow the lawn.
Front and back.
Front and back. Shout out to my neighbor Guy, that electric mower.
You have a neighbor named Guy? Me too.
That's his name for real?
Yeah.
I have a neighbor named Guy.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say
Do
it
you
loud.
really?
Yeah.
And what was crazy, one time, like I went to check my mail, and I didn't know what he did for a living, and there was a magazine, and his face was on it. Like on the cover, I was like, whoa!
What was the magazine? This is very
Like
important.
Realty.
Oh, Realty. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, be careful. how you-
Realty.
Yeah, it was the Taliban Weekly.
Like, that's a good subscription.
First of all, why are you subscribed to the town?
No, they just send me.
You got to know what they're up to.
Yeah.
You got to know what they're up to.
True.
All right, Deacon Noah, real quick. Should the Bengals keep Mixon or go with Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook right now with the Vikings. I don't know if you don't know that I knew
Bengals?
that I know you.
I don't think
What are
the
they gonna
Vikings
have
are
to
getting
give
rid of
up?
Dalvin Cook.
Huh?
What are they going to have to give up to get Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
I mean, Dalvin Cook's in is this a contract year for Dalvin Cook?
I'd have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I don't think Dalvin Cook's going anywhere. The Vikings know they need so much help on defense. The last thing they can do is get rid of a big piece on offense, or they're really screwed. All right, let's get to MLB standings.
All right, Major League Baseball standings. First of all, did you guys see the home run Pete Alonso hit last night?
Polar Bear?
Bottom of the 10th?
Blast.
Did you see the one
Just a
Acuna
blast.
hit the other night?
Which
Don't make this about the Braves.
Hold on. I'm just telling you, some guys it's just different. Like watch him swing, like but Alonso, that's what Pete does. He's a professional home run hitter. That's what Pete Alonso is.
That is what he does.
I mean, you look at the AL East. Everybody's got a winning record right now. Yankees sitting at 25-20. The Red Sox surprised a lot of people at 24-20. The Rays 32-12. But the Orioles 28-15. Who'd have thought?
Man, that's incredible. And then also Rangers at the top of the AL West right now, above the Astros. Mariners kind of struggling, below 500.
Yeah, that surprised me. I mean, if you'd have told me the Angels would have a better record than the Mariners up to this point, I would have told you you're a liar. But the Rangers, you look at the Rangers, they've been a great story. But look at the Astros at 24-19. It's a matter of time. Once they get Jose back, the pitching's kind of let them down a little bit. But you're only 2 games back in the West. And how long can the Rangers keep this up?
I know that's
the biggest question.
That's what.
How long can the Rangers keep it up?
I'm looking at the NL Central as well. The Brewers are playing great. The Cardinals in last place in that division.
Yeah,
I've not grown accustomed to seeing them be last place.
Typically the Cardinals are really competitive. Behind the Reds, behind the Cubs, who are both 19-24. The Pirates I find really, really interesting. I think the Pirates are going to win this division. And I know Pirates fans go, no, don't jinx this, but you hadn't won anything anyway in a while. How am I going to jinx you? What is it just going to be like it is every year? I know the Brewers have been playing well, but the Pirates only 1 game back. As long as the Pirates don't do what the Pirates always do, and once they get talent, just ship it off like it's got the play. Mm-hmm. Keep some of these guys. Let it build. I think you got the mix right a little bit. It's like in beer pong at the party, right? When you get hot, you got the mix right. All right, I think the Pirates have the mix right. And then looking over in the NL West, Dodgers,
dude,
shocker.
Not surprised to see the Dodgers at the top, but Diamondbacks.
Yeah, did you see
Arizona
Zach Gallen?
3 games.
Did you see Zach Gallen hit that bird?
I didn't see it. I heard about it though, and it was like on the anniversary. It was like the day before the anniversary of Randy.
The Matrix,
Johnson's,
man. I'm telling you, we're in the Matrix.
How was it? How bad was it?
It was during warm-ups. I mean, he was throwing pretty hard. They were warming up out, I believe it was right field, and just tattooed the bird. What are the birds out there taking? You know what I'm saying? Like, did y'all not learn from the first time? I'm sure in bird culture, everybody was talking about it. You hear him talk back and forth all the time. You're like,
I didn't see it. I was reading about it, but I didn't see the video. But Diamondbacks 3 games back at 25-19 right now. Pretty surprising.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Rockies who are in last place, you're 19-25. So it's not like, you're just absolutely tanking this thing like some of these other teams. Looking at the NL East, Braves, nice comeback win last night. Them and the Rangers are battling it out to see whose bullpen can blow up more times in this series. You got the Marlins at 22-21. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. The Braves run the NL East. I mean, looking at the Nats, 18-25, which isn't horrible. I just don't see a team in that division that can rival the Braves.
How about the Yankees? 25-20 right now. Not bad, but still.
Figure it out.
Aaron Judge.
What do they need to add?
Huh?
What do they need to add?
No. I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
I'm not going to say it. They're perfect.
No,
they're perfect. They don't need to add anything at all. Well, their pitching obviously has to get better. I mean, I don't think Aaron Hicks could hit water if he fell out of a boat. I mean, obviously, I don't know if y'all saw the Aaron Judge video over there. Our boy was tipping pitches the other day. Mm-hmm. And he looked, before he hit that tank, looked over to the dugout. I don't know if someone's tipping him in there or he's tipping him.
He said it was because Yankees players were chirping from the dugout and he wanted to see who was doing it.
But then the pitcher admitted, I was tipping pitchers and my own team was telling me about it.
Yeah.
I was doing something different.
No, he was looking. Aaron was looking.
Yeah, look.
Because you can't, remember the Astros used to beat on trash cans? So now you just can't go off sounds anymore because they're going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Like Aaron, somebody looked at Aaron, gave him, the old, hey, wipe across the brow, here comes the slider. And if you hang a slider to Aaron Judge, the things he does with those hangers, and you can't not throw the slider. What are you going to do, just feed him fastballs and curveballs, which can hang too? But you hang a slider to Aaron Judge, you might as well just go ahead and
long season,
that thing.
Long season, we'll see.
Yep, it's going to be a fun season.
Also, AL Central, Twins leading the division right now, 24-20. The Tigers, is the AL Central the worst division in baseball? I mean, you got the Twins, like I said, are leading 24-20. Then you got the Tigers 19-22, the Indians 19-23, White Sox, Shapiro 16-28, and the Royals. Ain't nothing royal about going 14-31 so far.
There's not.
Yeah.
It may be the worst division in baseball.
Look, I just think we need to buy a baseball team.
Daily Wire?
I think Ben needs to buy a baseball team.
I got $10.
Look, I got 17.
Look, I'll throw
in the
it for
wallet.
20.
All right, he'll throw a 20 piece.
I'll throw a 20 piece. That's almost $50.
Like we'll Jonah Hill this whole situation.
Yeah.
Which team?
The expansion team. It had to be expansion team.
Yeah.
The one here in Nashville.
Yeah.
How about the Nashville
Farmers?
Villains? Think about it.
Nashvilleans.
Nashvilleans.
Nashvilleans. A lot of good thoughts right now.
Nashville boosters.
Thoughts.
Yeah, we need to buy that domain.
All right, I want to talk about Michigan basketball for a second.
I'm sure
here.
you do.
Yeah, former North Carolina guard Caleb Love, who we saw playing at the Final Four.
I know him.
Year before last in New Orleans. Was a great get in the transfer portal for Michigan basketball. Now he's decommitted. Sounds like the reasoning is admissions. Some of his credits didn't transfer over. I mean, this comes on the heels of Hunter Dickinson, Michigan center, transferring to Kansas. You already lose Jet Howard and Kobe Bufkin to the NBA. This thing... We've known for a couple years that Michigan has not been owning the NIL game in football or basketball to be able to compete at the highest level. But this one strikes me as particularly odd because losing Caleb Love, they said, is an admissions issue with credits transferring. I understand the fact that Michigan takes great pride in their academics. It's one of the reasons that I committed there. It's a top 3 school every single year. But you know what else is a good school? North Carolina. Like, if Caleb Love can play basketball at the University of North Carolina, how can we not figure out a way to make him eligible to play for Michigan? So I don't know if this is a Juwan Howard situation. It may not be, and we don't have a large enough sample size to know if this is like an internal problem with players with Juwan Howard, but Michigan has to get this figured out.
Yeah, here's if it is, and I'm going on the auspices that this is an academic admissions thing when I say this, how can so many smart people be so dumb? Like if it's that hard to get into Michigan and it creates that smart of people, I think these people would come to the realization of, when's the last time that 100,000 people showed up to watch somebody take a chemistry test? You don't. Caleb Love has a skill set. Is Caleb Love the smartest person in the world? And I haven't seen his transcript or his academic report, but the point you bring up is super valid. If you can get into North Carolina, you should be able to get into Michigan. I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up at Virginia or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
That's a top academic school.
Yeah.
This is something that Michigan, look, I'm sorry, okay? I know school is super important. For you kids out there, most of y'all are not Caleb Love, are not somebody that's going to have a chance to play in the NBA or make a lot of money playing basketball. School is super important. But if you're Michigan, at some point, man, y'all got to get, if I'm Juwan Howard and it's an admissions thing, I am losing my mind. I am going to go to the admissions office and lose my mind. And so go ahead.
So here's the public university rankings for 2023. Cal Berkeley, always really at the top of that list. Michigan, number 2. Virginia, number 3. All right, University of Florida, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Yeah, this to me is when, and I get you have standards and people can, but those standards have been manipulated before. You mean to tell me Michigan would turn down a 5-star quarterback, number 1 player in the country, if it was kind of close on the grade scale wise? I don't think they'd do it for football. I don't think they'd do it at all in football if they could get that person. We see it all the time. I've seen it with my own eyes. But this lets me know that maybe Michigan, maybe they're just not ready for the big time in basketball, man. Maybe y'all, again, there's a reason the SEC is say it just means more. Like, my whole point is, from a revenue standpoint, it's not a smart decision to tell Caleb Love he can't come to Michigan. Now, if he was coming from Southwest Missouri Junior College or something like that and didn't have the grades, okay, I can get that. But coming from North Carolina over this, I don't know, man. This one just smells funny.
Well, look, like I said, I love having the standard. It's one of the reasons I went there. I just have a hard time believing that this kid can't come in and play basketball.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just weird to me.
Next one is Jimbo Fisher.
Yes.
We talk a lot of stuff on the field. We talk a lot of schematics on this show, but Jimbo Fisher had a situation here with his son. Can you break it down?
Yeah, so he came out yesterday and said that he thinks, now his son, all right, has something, and I hope I'm saying this right, Fanconi anemia. It's a rare genetic disorder involving all 3 blood cell lines. And he believes now, because people who have this typically live about 30 years. Okay, his son, I think, is what, close to 20, something like that. He thinks that he can be cured in 2 to 4 years with this gene replacement therapy. Which, if that is true, and I know Jimbo has no reason to lie about this, if that does take place, what an amazing medicinal, factoid that is, because that doesn't just affect Jimbo Fisher's family. It affects anybody who this happens to. And it's characterized as its most common cause of inherited bone marrow failure, characterized by pancytopenia. Additionally, it affects almost all organs of the body. So we're rooting for him because this has implications. And again, I don't know, this may have worked before with other people. I don't know if this is some breakthrough gene replacement therapy, but they're just coming up with now. This is the first time I've ever heard about it. But Godspeed to Jimbo Fisher's son and his family. And this could be a really amazing thing, not only for them, but for a lot of people.
Now, I read that Jimbo Fisher has donated a lot of money to this cause, too. I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah, and there's been times where his son's kind of gotten in the media about stuff. I don't think a lot of people really know this. Okay. I think he's kept it in-house a lot. Because there's a lot of Chris Peterson, has gone through something, had a child that was affected. I've worked for a guy that has a child that was affected, not by this, but you don't hear a lot of times the coaches coming up to talk about this. And that's for multiple reasons, but he's donated a ton of money. And we give Jimbo Fisher, Jimbo Fisher gets a lot of crap from a lot of people. And we've believed in A&M a lot more than other ones. And we've talked about Jimbo Fisher, calling people out, like he was talking about TCU the other day. But this is something I think where you have the most impact.
For sure.
And doing good. So again, man, Godspeed. Let's go figure this thing out.
Good for them.
Absolutely, I agree. That's awesome. Especially nowadays. I feel like we should be able to fix anything when it comes to, sickness.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I don't think there should be any blind people in the world or deaf people. We could fix it. You also know what Mr. Beast did? Y'all know who that is?
Yeah.
I know who Mr. Beast is.
Yeah.
David. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I've never seen any clips, but I know he's like really popular.
Man, he gave like multiple thousand people to fix their eyesight and their hearing. So I feel like that's
was that removing cataracts, or did he literally help blind people see?
No, like he helped blind.
So we have a cure for blindness.
Like he did it, or he just raised the money?
Yeah, we have a cure for blindness.
We have a cure for blindness.
Yes, I watched it.
I don't believe you.
Look it up.
I'm not okay.
Yeah, look it up. I literally watched it with my own eyes.
Cataracts is different.
Maybe you're the one that's blind.
That makes sense why he has so many followers.
When you're born blind, that's different than having cataracts that they remove.
There's no current cure for blindness, but treatments can offer help.
What was that last part?
Treatments can offer help for some depending on the cause and progression of their vision loss. So cataracts is something that you can take out because it's like a film underneath their eye that you can remove.
Are you born with that?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
God, see, you took my joke, CJ. The godly.
She took the joke.
You're thief of joy.
All right, let's
You're
go.
not born with it, though.
The house that Cody built. Cody, I can't see that with your graphic. It's pretty cool, though. $5 donation. David Cohn's EA NCAA ratings from his time at Michigan. All right, NCAA 07, freshman, 68. It's fine walking in freshman, almost a 70. I'm fine with that.
Come on. That's a D+. Right?
How tall does it say he is?
I don't know. Cody, if you have the height, put that in there. NCAA 08, sophomore year, 70.
Okay.
And I needed to progress a little more.
That's full.
Then 2.
What were you doing in the off-season?
Are you not locked?
Getting 2% better, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. The NCAA 09, not in the game. What's the deal? What's the deal, bud?
You know, they weren't signing the NIL deals. Can't use my likeness, baby.
All right, NCAA 10, not in the game. NCAA 11, not in the game. Still 68.
I wasn't there in 11.
Yeah.
68 and 7.
He wasn't in college for 8 years like the rest of us.
Yeah, I didn't pull the Stetson Bennett.
All right, let's go to Texas A. What percentage of NCAA athletes are graduated through high school with being taken serious to get NIL money?
How many? Say that again.
How many athletes come out of high school and get NIL money right when they go to college?
Well, NIL money specifically, I mean, I don't think it's a huge percentage. I mean, when you look at people who, get Pell, and I know that's not NIL, but I would say, what do you think, like 20%?
I'd say lower.
Lower? 50?
Well, unless we're talking about, hey, you did a $500 commercial for your
we need like a number, like 10 grand.
Those guys like the Bryce Youngs of the world, that's like 0.5%.
Yeah, that's not the norm.
It's like a couple of them.
Now, in states like North Carolina, high school kids can get NIL. Interesting.
This college players out here making $1 million. So to Steve Action Figures Frenzy says, Yankees are coming to Cincinnati starting tomorrow. Should I be worried with Judge hitting in the bandbox as the great American ballpark?
I'd always be worried when Aaron Judge is in any box. Again, especially the way he's hitting right now. I think he's hit 5 home runs in his last 4 games. But if you're the Reds, it's going better than what I think a lot of y'all thought, honestly. After y'all lost the first game of the season, I put up that graphic, y'all are eliminated from the playoffs. Still don't think you're going to make it, but it's going better than what I thought. There's teams doing a lot worse when it comes down to it. So, I'd always be worried when Aaron Judge comes to town.
All right. After this year, do we see Arch Manning starting next year if Quinn goes to the league?
Yes, I think the plan is, and Malik Murphy is going to be the odd man out. I think the narrative is Quinn Ewers plays this year, goes pro, and Arch Manning, going into the SEC, is going to be the starting quarterback in Texas. Imagine the PR storm that is going to follow that. And I don't know if there's a lot Malik Murphy can do about it. And I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. I think Arch is going to be named the starter next year. Malik Murphy is going to transfer to somewhere in the SEC so he can play Texas. That's how I think this is about to go down.
All right, let's go to Arsenal 0370. Does Neil Brown survive another year?
No. And I hate that because Neil's a great guy. I think he's a good coach. He survived last year on a couple big wins, a couple games that really didn't look like they should have won, that they won. Yeah, at home. I mean, I think this is the last year for Neil, and I hate it, but he'll come be an offensive coordinator at a big time.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Or he may take over, maybe a school in the Sun Belt.
So who would be
He's
next
been at Troy, at West Virginia.
Yeah, who would be next at West Virginia?
Man, I tell you, a name like Kendall Briles. Something like that. I think they'll go young and innovative. Maybe a Garrett Riley.
That's why I was struggling on our overs and unders when it came to West Virginia, because it's so tough to go play them in Morgan.
Oh, it is. So look, they love their college football too out there. I mean, they'll burn furniture because.
But think about, what did we say? They have Penn State and Pitt.
Yep.
Weeks 1 and 3.
Backyard brawl. We know that's always crazy. And I hope I'm wrong. I don't like to see guys fired. after being in it. But, I got to call a spade a spade. I'm not going to sit up here and just think that nobody's ever going to get fired or it's all flowers, rainbows, and Skittles, because it's not. But last night, can't believe the Celtics didn't win, but the over got absolutely destroyed. I could have told you that after the end of the first quarter with the way that they were shooting, even though, I was kind of waffling back and forth on it because the Celtics are so good defensively, and the Heat, were one of the lowest scoring teams in the NBA during the regular season, but with Jimmy Buckets and the boys, they've really put it together and figured it out. Tonight, we got hockey again, finally. Feels like it's been forever. I picked the Canes to win the whole thing. I'm not jumping off the train now. Give me the Canes money line and over 5.5 goals. You put those two together, that's plus 190. Nice. And then I think people would be crazy not to take the over in this. Any Lakers-Nuggets game. It's at 227. Last game they combined for almost 180 or 280 points, which means, who knows what will happen tonight, but I like the over at 227. I think the over in the first game was at 222.5. That jumped up, almost a 5-piece, same guys, same place, same game. So I like the over there.
I like both those picks. Let's see how many goals get scored in that Canes game tonight. I'm going to take the Marlins-Nats Nerfy minus 104. Are we bet buds over there?
The Marlins are just cashing out.
Come on home.
I'm hopping on. Give me the sound. Give me the sound. There we go. And then I'm going to go a little PGA Championship action. Cam Smith to shoot lower than Jason Day in the first round.
Jason Day just coming
That's
off winning that tourney.
Plus 100.
I like Jason Day, man.
I like Jason Day, too.
And he's got vertigo, too, which you can see it on the course, man. And if you have ever known anybody who had vertigo, basically, it's like if you stand up too quick and like all the blood rushes to your head, it's like that feeling. But it has to do with like the crystals in your ears and stuff like that. My grandmother had to get surgery to correct that. So hopefully Jason can make it through.
Hitchcock made a good movie about that.
Let's talk about crystals. Let's talk about Nerfies. All right, a little 2-0 action.
You taking 2 again?
A little 2-0 action yesterday.
Tua Tagovailoa.
About it. All right, I'm going back to it. Nats Marlins. All right, Nerfy minus 104. Scored 3 runs in the second inning. You'd love to see it. Then give me Angels. Not a lot of baseball games out today.
No.
Disappointed me.
Travel day.
Give me Angels Orioles Nerfy minus 102. These are some dangerous Nerfies right here. But sometimes you got to wake up. Just like Parker said, get some ciabatta. All right. Eat it and pick some Nerfies.
Chocolate chip muffin or bagel?
No.
What do you mean no?
I can't do that right now.
I know we can, but we can talk about it.
I'm a big blueberry muffin guy.
Okay.
Blueberries are terrible.
God. Maybe you should go to Russia.
You going to Russia?
No,
you have a layover in Russia?
No, I don't.
What if they're like, hey, for this plane to survive, you have to lay over in Russia and get gas?
Well, I'll just bring a hash pin, and they're like Brittany Griner, so they won't let me on the plane. I'll just go hang out and, guess what? They're not coming to get me, though. I'd be over there forever. You'd be, hey, Jake's phoning in from, someplace in Russia, from Moscow. It's like, hold on, they just waterboarded me. Anyway, Ace, 2-0 yesterday. Nice day for him.
He needs to start chilling out a little bit.
Yeah. No, look, the kid, the savant's figuring it out.
I don't need this from him.
He's taking the Nuggets minus 5.5. That's going off at minus 105. And the Canes money line and the over at 3.5 goals, that's minus 110. Don't let him be sneaky. Sneaky. I've watched him do it before.
Sneaky.
Speaking of sneaky, what's going on in the booster club?
Dakota Faulkner, what's up, D-Cup? He says, Blaine Clemson is going to hire Garrett Riley as head coach after Dabo leaves for Bama.
Y'all keep thinking Dabo is not going to follow Nick Saban. Like, he's not going to do it.
Mama calls. That's where he played ball.
But it's a little bit different because guess what?
Start running.
No, you never want, and Dabo knows this. He's king of the castle, number 1 over at Clemson. But number 2 is you never want to be the guy that follows the guy.
Unless you're that guy.
No. You want to be the guy
your alma mater.
that follows the guy that followed the guy. So after they hire Bill O'Brien and then he gets fired in year 3, then Dabo will probably come in.
Following so many guys. Let's go to Cody Nace, 95. The Marlins are going to fund Blaine's retirement.
Yeah, they are. The Marlins they're just a walk-in 401k where the market's always good.
Yeah. Let's go to speaking of a lot of Cody.
They'll hit a first pitch home run now. Because I took him with you.
Get out. Why do that, Dave? Why?
I'm trying to recalibrate from all the...
There's no recalibrating. It's calibrated, all right? Don't touch it.
It better be.
All right, house that Cody built. Cone, I'm going to simulate a dynasty in NCAA 07 with you as a starting true freshman. I will let you know how his stats are when it's finished.
Let's do it. Let me know how it goes, brother.
I'm rooting for you.
I'm rooting for you, too.
Jared Grubbs, what does Nerfy mean?
No run first inning, which means that neither team can score a run in the first inning and the bet hits. And then you have Nerfy's evil brother, the Yerfy. Yes run in the first inning.
We don't talk about him.
Yerfy?
Yeah.
We don't talk about Yerfy.
We don't talk about Yerfy.
Bold pick.
Bold.
Yeah, that's like saying
bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Reed Rickett, I really like y'all's outfits today.
Really?
Except Jake's. Stay safe traveling today.
She didn't say
that. Dude, come on. Why are you causing problems? Why are you causing problems?
Oh man, I had to call the maid of honor the other day to ask her if I could say something at the beginning of my best man speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
She shot it down.
I approved it.
Everyone else approved it, but she didn't.
Funny.
Well,
I can't say it now. Can I say it here? Can I say it here if I can't say it on the... No?
You don't want to waste your
You
ammo.
probably should
I'm not using it. There's
Daisy?
no ammo. I can't use it.
Don't do it.
You've already exited out?
I can't
well, I would
say
just say it. Not on the show, but I would just say it at the wedding.
No, I can't go against the
I don't know. Tell me after the show, and then
Okay.
I'll yay it or nay.
Coffee Guy Sports, NL MVP at Cooner or the field?
Man, I got to take the field.
I'll take the field.
I got to take the field if I'm trying to actually win money. Now, in my heart, Acuna Matata, Acuna hit a patata.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How about that for
Give me
NL
that.
MVP?
Hey, how about your boy finishing one strikeout short of the bet hitting yesterday? Strider.
I think he was a few short, wasn't he?
No, he's at 7.
I had him at 9.
You had him at 8.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. One strikeout short.
You're
Umpire
tight,
probably
sorry.
screwed you.
Man.
All right, so to Sister Ray, with so many good QBs in next year's draft, where does Quinn even fall? Is he even a first-round pick?
I think so.
Well, I wrote down 9 anyway.
Caleb's going to be the first quarterback taken. Drake will be the second quarterback taken. I think Quinn's got a good chance to be the third. But who knows? Again, let's see the year they have this year. Quinn's good enough. It looks like he's taking care of his body. He kind of changed his routine a little bit. So,
All right, Chris C. says if he couldn't get into Michigan, Caleb Love can definitely get into Michigan State.
Please don't go to Michigan State, man.
I'm telling you,
They don't need to
y'all
get any better at basketball.
Yeah, like if come on, Michigan, y'all look. Eventually, school. It's like I had a head coach say one time, deep down, here at this university, all right, academics comes first.
Mm.
All right, athletics comes second.
They always did that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sweet Baby Paladin, the fact that Blaine plays Elden Ring has elevated him in my respect. New game, plus.
Wow, there you go. Look at that.
Look, still, I don't play it now, but like, I beat it, which is like impossible to do. Closet conservative. Come on, the closet, man. It's fine. You're safe here. Trust me. Hell yeah, we burn couches. # West Virginia. # horns down.
Yeah, country roads. Take me home.
All right, let's go to Walsh's skinny jeans. This is the only show that I have time to jump in the website to chat. The other chats can be shown on different shows, but Cranico is nearly impossible to type.
Oh God, I like when you say things
That's
like that.
Skinny jeans, the
I like when you-
skinniest.
The skinny. You're looking super.
What's our thought on
tightest.
skinny jeans?
Well, when they're mats, hop in the chat, buddy. Love
Like
it.
we got it. Like, are we talking like slim fit? Or are we talking like I'm trying to try out for Green Day? Like, I think it's one thing like to wear like the slim fit jeans. It's another thing to wear go to like Hot Topic and get those jeans with like the buckle and then change your hair and wear eyeliner and be pissed at your parents.
When was the last time you did that?
About 2 weeks ago.
Every Wednesday.
Where are you?
Every Wednesday.
Dying just to see you. What was the one? You're like, Dad.
Someone clip that out.
Yeah,
please.
Dad, I hate you, Dad. Dad, I'm running my skateboard out of the shop. What's a bowl?
All right, Paul. Will Jake's plane make it to France?
God!
Yes, of
Yes!
course. 100%.
Please, 100%?
100%.
All right, will Jake's plane make it to France? Yes, 74%.
Oh my God!
Who are the
26%.
What is wrong with some of you guys?
What is wrong for Blaine for making that the poll?
The poll wasn't fair. Jake's gonna join the plane.
You'll be good, dude.
You'll be good.
I can't be awake. Like, I've decided. Reed, I know you're watching. I'm not going to be awake.
You don't want to miss that.
So whatever concoction you've got to come up with, I don't care. Shoot, I don't care if you hit me with that blow dart from like old school. Remember when Sean William Scott?
You're crazy.
Yeah,
man.
it's like, he's like,
I like you, man, but you're crazy. You're crazy. Might be the most underrated actor ever.
who? Sean William Scott? Oh, he's so funny.
He's good.
Goon, so good. American Pie, so good. He's fantastic.
Role models.
He's like, in case these little guys get out of control.
Role
He's
models.
like, he shoots him. He's like, yes!
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome. He's like, there's a dart in your neck. That movie's so funny. All right, make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all social medias. Thanks for Parker Thune for coming on talking some OU. Make sure you check us out tomorrow. I'm gonna go get married this weekend.
Hey.
Like the chances of me officially being a bachelor after this weekend, we're going, gone.